Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This is Jaylee's Corner. I am, of course, Jay Lee, and this is my review for Power, Episode 2, Season 4. You could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to check out my video. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, first things first, if you have not done so already, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Subscriptions does not cost you anything. You just hit the subscribe button and it just lets you know when my ear's looking crazy. It just lets you know when I have another video up, and it keeps you abreast to when I have new content. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm adjusting this camera as I'm talking, so yeah. So please subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Of course, I do have my notes here. So, episode 2, season 4, it does pick up where the last episode left off, where Ghost was getting, he got beat up by them two guards. And so it starts out with him, in the mirror. He's trying to use the bathroom. They show there is blood in the toilet. I did not know if that meant there was blood in his urine, if he had spit in the toilet and he spit out blood, what it meant. I've never had blood in my urine, and I always thought blood in a person's urine meant they had an STD. Truth be told, that's what I thought. Solely because I've never had that experience, and I've only heard about blood in your urine if you got something. But, I guess I learned from the news. You get your ass beat, you can piss blood. So, yeah. He looks, a little bit beaten up. You can tell his face is a little bruised and everything. So, it's the realization that, yes, he is in jail, and yes, he's having a hard time. So, that's kind of how it starts off. It then transitions into Tasha having a conversation with the kids about their father not coming home as of yet, and that he didn't do it. And Tyrico's smart mouth little dumb self gonna say, well, I think he did do it. Bitch, who you talking to? First of all, Tasha should have backhanded his little ass, because Tyreek is just getting beside himself. And I think Tyreek is the example of when parents at times have so much going on in their own lives that they don't realize their kids are lost in fucking translation. And Tyreek ass is lost in all kind of translations. He's lost in English translation and a Spanish translation, a hood translation. He's just lost all up in the damn sauce. And they don't even know how lost he is. They just think he's been a typical teenager. Lo and behold, no. His ass under the thumb of a fucking devil who is Kanan, aka Slim. But, Tasha's like, don't you ever say that. Even the sister's like, you're so stupid, which he is. He's very stupid. And I hope they said that because everyone thinks he's stupid. But, it's just a conversation she's having with them like, hey, we have to show a united front, point blank, period. Of course, they go into Keisha being all scared because Ghost isn't out of jail. So Keisha goes to Tommy, and she's complaining like, hey, I need your name and Tasha's name off the stuff from my shop. Ghost ain't out of jail. I don't have time for them coming after me. And Tommy basically calms her down like, look, nothing, Ghost's name isn't on anything within your shop. But if you go taking his wife's name off, it would draw attention. So you can't do that. I don't know why Keisha always so scared of everything. It's only weird because they talk about how she was raised and she grew up in the same hood as Tommy, Ghost, and Tasha. But Keisha is a scared hood chick. Like, she the hood chick where you be like, let's go steal some chips from the store. And she be like, I don't want to steal chips from the store. I might go to prison. Like, she in the hood, it's like she don't mind seeing hood shit. And she's hood. But she ain't trying to break no rules, like, at all. But I just need her to calm down. Boo-boo. Ain't nobody looking at you yet. Just, leave it alone. But I'm happy Tommy was able to calm her down and let her know, hey, I got you. Point blank, period. The next scene was just Charlie Murphy's character taking Ghost walking Ghost into into the visiting room to meet with Proctor. May Charlie Murphy rest in peace. However, he looks so sick. Like, it's almost distracting how sick he looks. And it just makes me think, like, did no one else ask, like, are you okay? Is everything okay? Um, they have said that no one knew on set that he was sick. But he looks sick. So for me, it's hard watching his scenes and not thinking that, because he's passed away since then. So it's just hard to see him look like that, knowing he passed away, less than a year later. But yeah, that for me is distracting. Not saying he's doing a bad job. Not saying that he shouldn't be on the show. I'm reviewing the show, so a part of my review is me being honest about what I think. And he looks sick, and it's distracting for me. There was, he was only in 2 scenes this episode. The scene where he's bringing Ghost in to talk to Proctor, and another scene where he's taking Ghost to his cell and he's discussing when he worked on death row and how he would see the people get lethal injections, and he would say, sometimes take them 45 minutes to die. That's gonna be you. It was eerie hearing him talk about somebody dying, because again, I'm like, he looks so sick, and he was dying. So that for me, I mean, it was eerie. I just can't, I don't know what else to say. But may he rest in peace. Anywho, Ghost is talking to Proctor, and Ghost is like, hey, we just need to tell them, about me and Angela. And the same token is a scene where the prosecutors are all meeting together, and they're like, should we throw Angela under the bus and bring up her relationship with James St. Patrick and Greg Knox? Yes, she'll lose her license. Yes, she won't, she'll be disbarred. But hey, hopefully it'll help our case. It'll be a thing of the jealous ex-boyfriend, killed or whatever. And Angela overhears them talking about it because she's not in the room yet. But she, of course, walks in and she's like, what? So then it's a scene of them going back and forth between the scene with Ghost talking to Proctor and all the prosecutors talking to Angela. And they're then questioning them, showing what it would be like if they were in court. So to Ghost, he's like, his attorney Proctor is like, hey, so when did you meet Angela? When we were kids. Were you cheating on your wife with her? Yes, I was. Where y'all have sex at? Oh, in the club, in the hotel, her apartment. And again, they're asking Angela questions. Hey, did you ever be with him while on company time? So were you spending taxpayer money having sex with someone that that you were sleeping with a married man? Were you also sleeping with Greg Knox? So going back and forth, showing them what it would be like on trial, in the trial. And then in one scene when, and then Proctor says, hey, so did you kill Knox because, of how much you loved Angela? Because it was like, he was following her and stalking her. And then James says, I would never kill someone in law enforcement. Not I would never kill someone. So Proctor's like, so didn't you mean to say you would never kill anyone? Have you ever killed anyone, Mr. St. Patrick? Showing if you say one thing wrong, it's going to open up a floodgate of everything. Even with Angela. Did you ever steal evidence to get his friend Tommy Egan off for murder? All this stuff that she did, and she would not be able to lie. And then it not only puts her job in jeopardy, the other people who knew she was sleeping with these 2 men, which she should not have been. And they both have the realization, you can't put me on a stand, I can't testify. So that whole thing of making it about James, Angela, and Knox doesn't go off too well. But Proctor's like, don't worry about it. You just need to keep up your appearance as James St. Patrick, call and check on your business and stuff like that. He does call Dre and talk to Dre real quick. When Dre mentions that he has been talking to the woman who they were trying to get in business with last year. I thought it was weird they brought her up. So I'm like, that's going to come up in some kind of way later. But yeah. It was a little scene of, Tommy finding out that Cristobal, one of their connect drug people, um, did not pick up his shipment of drugs, which is different. And not only that, he's meeting with another distributor. Tommy doesn't like anyone disrespecting their organization. And so if you were supposed to come and pick up some drugs, you better come pick them up. So instead of him going to handle it, Julio, who I called Hector last week, his name was actually Julio. Julio's like, I can handle it. Cool. He didn't handle it the way Tommy would have liked. More, as we eventually saw within the episode. When he's talking to Cristobal, he's extra nice. Like, to me, you should have put the fear in that man, and you didn't. You even let his man punch your man. Let me rephrase. You let his associate punch your associate in the face, and there was no type of retaliation. Instead, you just offered him 2 extra bricks to sell, because y'all cool. I didn't even like that. And then even the fact that he didn't stop the altercation, Cristobal did. So once Tommy finds that out, because he sees their friend with the black eye, he like, what the fuck happened? And they, say what happened. He's like, Julio didn't handle that shit? I like Tommy's accent. He decides to handle it himself. So later on in the scene, in the episode, we do see he finds the guy who hits his associate, and he makes him get out the car, and he gives him a head start to run away. He then proceeds to take the man's car and chase him down the road. Runs the motherfucker over, and as he was doing it, he looked like he just enjoyed the shit, because that's Tommy. You fucking disrespected my organization, so let me teach you a fucking lesson. So I'm gonna run your ass over in your own car. I'm gonna then back over you and fuck up your leg, and then tell you, don't you ever disrespect my organization. Now say please for me to get this car off of you. And it was a thing of, that's Tommy. Tommy is on the edge. He was never the one who was like Ghost, who would do shit calm, cool, and collected. It's all planned out. No, Tommy is outright gonna do some dumb shit and make you feel like you should have never done what you did. And that's what he did, because Ghost would never chase somebody down in broad daylight, mind you, and run their ass over twice. You ran him over, you hit him with the car, then ran him over, and then backed over him some more and drove off in his car. Unfucking believable. But, hey, that's what happens. The scene, even with Ghost in the prison, and I always thought they not gonna do a scene with somebody trying to come at Ghost on any kind of sexual shit. And they came up with this scene. First of all, this man walked up to the Ghost as he was eating food and took his biscuit. Like, I'm hungry, and your biscuit looks succulent. First of all, what it sounded like he said in my head was, I want to fuck you. That's what I thought he said, in layman's terms. I don't know if that's what y'all thought he said. That's what I thought he said. Anywho, he took the biscuit, ate the biscuit, called it succulent, then said Ghost had baby seal eyes. First of all, I've never noticed baby seals or their eyes. So that whole line was like, that's how you come on to people in prison. They got baby seal eyes, and they got succulent biscuits around this bitch. Ghost looked at him like, bitch, ooh, let me keep my cool. And Ghost barely flinched. When he took the biscuit out of Ghost's hand, Ghost still looked like, this motherfucker finna make me kill him. And he ever so slightly slid next to Ghost, them baby seal eyes. And he tried to put his hand on Ghost, and Ghost took that man's wrist and broke it. He broke the forearm part of it, because he like, bitch, don't play up like that. And what I loved is that he did it without flinching. He didn't say shit. He didn't draw attention to anything. Nothing. But he like, it's only because his lawyer told him, you can't be ghosting here. You have to be James St. Patrick. Because he asked Ghost in the beginning, saying, when they beat you up, did you fight back? And he's like, no, I couldn't. I was handcuffed, and it was 2 guards. And he like, good, you have to play that role. Ghost wasn't trying to say, you ain't taking my biscuit, bitches. But Ghost said, no, I'm going to show you quietly, don't fuck with me. Point blank into the period. An old white guy who was on the first episode, and we know he gonna be somebody some kind of way, he noticed it. And when Biscuit succulent baby eyes fish was about to say or do something else to Ghost. White boy, white man, old white man was like, Biscuit, get the fuck out of here. So we know he gonna be somebody. We just don't know who he gonna be just yet. There's also a scene of Dre talking to staff and like letting them know, hey, people gonna be asking for 2 bottles of this. When they ask for 2 bottles of this, get them 1 bottle and give them this little truth book of, I'm gonna say matches, like a matchbook thing. And they're like, well, why? What? He like, look, don't ask no questions, just do what I say. But still ring them up for the 2 bottles. So the scene of them in the club, and Dre's watching it all happen. He's watching the staff take 1 bottle in the truth matchbook and it's pills, it's drugs. So of course it's how he's running drugs through the system. I don't know if that was a part of the Tommy part of how drugs gonna be ran there. I do wonder if that's what Dre decided to do so that he can continue to make extra money on the side because he has to pay Kanan. So that part I'm still not knowing if that was Dre's decision or if that was how Tommy and them was telling him we're gonna run drugs through here, because he looked happy. And initially in the last episode he was not happy when they said drugs was gonna be ran through the club. So we shall see, you know, where that actually came from, because it kind of went off without a hitch. They show, you know, champagne, pills, them swiping credit cards, just money, money, money. You know, and he's loving it. Like, okay, I'm finally in my element. I'm here and I'm making money and I'm doing my thing and I'm running the club and I'm the kingpin. Whatever. Next scene of them showing Tasha talking to the kids in front of the school, and she's saying, hey, we're gonna go visit your father, and visit him, you can't call him Ghost. I've never seen them call that man Ghost. I've seen them call him Dad, Daddy, you know, that stuff. So I know in the beginning scene of the episode, she mentioned to them, don't even, if anyone asks you about his nickname Ghost, that he got it as a kid, but don't talk about it. So in this scene, when she's now saying, you know, don't call him Ghost, why would his kids call him Ghost, Tasha? Whatever. You know, Raina goes into school and she's left talking to Tariq a little bit more. And she's like, you know, your dad, I'm not going to let your dad know about your drinking and you hanging out with these friends who are bad influences on you. Your dad has some bad influences too. She then brings up Kanan and say, have you ever heard of him? And Tariq doesn't react because there's now a paparazzi person taking pictures of them. And Tasha, of course, flips out, breaks the camera, get the fuck on. And Tariq like, see, Mom, that's how you gonna act, you know, whatever. Again, she needs to punch Tariq in his fucking throat. Like, I mean, just karate chop him right here. And, I mean, I just need somebody to rein his little ass in. He got that mouth. And, I mean, I just need, you know, punch him in his chest. Something. Like, just get his little stupid ass under control. But, you know, when they get into the school and Tariq is trying to play hard, and I think it's just so stupid. But I get it's the reason because Ghost wasn't fully there. You know, so Tariq is like going on down a bad path and not knowing that he's going down this horrible path just because he's mad at his parents. But you know, the white students walk up like, hey, it's the same gun you brought to school, the same gun your father used to kill whoever. And Tariq's like, maybe. And Raina's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, brother? Like, who are you? You know, Mom told us don't talk about that kind of stuff. And he's like, Mom and Dad's a liar. And then he proceeds to call Kanan. I'm like, you can say I say this every time. The fact that Tariq is believing Kanan, a man who he does not know, is just so mind-boggling. But it's also what happens when kids feel like they have nobody else who understands them, and then they get hooked in with strangers. Oh, just so stupid. But whatever. Because he believes Kanan when Kanan said, your dad did that shit. Your dad did that shit. You don't even know this man. Like, Tariq, you don't know Kanan. Because you don't know Kanan because you think the nigga's slim. And he ain't slim, he's Kanan. You don't know this man. But you should stop believing do not believe what strangers tell you, bruh. Like, Tariq, let me talk to you real quick. you're stupid. Your character is stupid. You make everybody mad. I just need you to wake up. Like, just Google Kanan. Like, do a. I don't just. Let me move on before I get too pissed off. But yeah, so even after all of that, the FBI is having their conversations of even how to catch Tommy Egan, how to kind of bring all of this in together. The Tommy Egan, the ghost. Let's follow his mom. Let's put a tail on his mom because his mom, we might be able to flip her. Angela's giving them all this information of how they can get to Tommy, which is dumb because she knows Tommy's not Ghost, which makes me more upset because you're letting them think that Tommy is Ghost and that Tommy made Ghost do this. But Ghost is Ghost. James St. Patrick is Ghost. So when she's like, we can get Tommy too, we just have to press his mom. It just kind of pissed me off. So, the following, another scene of them raiding Truth, or just having a search warrant for Truth. And it's like the day following the whole drug paraphernalia thing with Drake. So Drake's like, no, they want the surveillance video. And Drake's like, well, I gotta cut the cameras off. And Sandoval, old sneaky ass, he's like, okay, yeah, go cut them off. And he's just moving throughout the club. And I'm like, why is he moving so fast? What is he trying to do? I'm like, okay. I'm thinking he's trying to look for some. I don't know what I thought initially, but then I'm like, he trying to plant that goddamn gun. And sure enough, he gets into the office. Because he went into the office and he was looking for stuff. So at first I was like, well, is he looking for something that he knows is there? And then I'm like, oh no, yeah. Oh yeah, the gun. And he plants the gun in the office. It pissed me off simply because it did piss me off because we know he didn't do it. And it made me mad because you just think about all the people who they put in jail for stuff they didn't do. But Ghost's a really bad person because he's done some fucked up shit, so how mad can I really be? But I'm mad because I'm Team Ghost all the fucking way. And it just shows how corrupt the system can be. That y'all are really railroading this man who really did not do it. And, Angela found the fucking fingerprint. And then when they said, let's make sure the fingerprint is his fingerprint, she's like, okay, I'll check into it. How? Like, how are y'all? I just don't. It just made me so mad. So, when they're in the office and they're looking around after Sandoval has put the gun in there, and, they have Drake open the safe up, nothing's in the safe. I hoped when the safe opened up, it was another gun in there. That's what I hope. I'm like, because maybe they'll have that gun, and then they'll stop looking for another gun. But it was nothing in the safe. They keep looking, and they find the gun. So, bam. You have, the gun. You have the fingerprint. You have the DNA. That's like an open and shut case. Next. Tommy and Keisha having sex, kissing and hugging and being all over each other. And Tommy insinuating that he, asking her, have you ever had white snow? And she's like, no, you never know how many inches you're going to get. He like, oh, you had a blizzard. I don't think Tommy got a big dick. I don't. Sorry, I just don't. I don't like them two being together. I don't. I think it's stupid. I don't think they're even. But again, Tommy went over there to let off steam. That's why Tommy went over there. Keisha telling Tommy that, every time I have something Tasha takes, like she did Sean. Bitch, why you telling on your best friend? Like, you have no loyalty. Like, what the fuck? What if Tommy didn't know what Tommy didn't know? What if Tommy did, this made me so mad. Friends don't do that shit. You take your friend's secret to the grave. Point blank and period. Them both even saying they can't tell Tasha about them. I think that proves they know it's a bad idea. Y'all are the best friends of Ghost and Tasha. Y'all need to be fucking. Like, y'all should not be a couple. I just don't see it. And y'all only smashing because y'all bored, basically. But they're dope, so who cares? I did say last season that I did not like sex scenes between Tommy and Holly. I didn't mind the little scene between Lala, I call her Lala, Keisha and Tommy. I didn't mind it, but we shall see. I don't want them to do it again, though. I mean, whatever. Uh, they show the prosecutor trying to go for murder one, and he gets it. Basically, he gets the jury to, well, the grand jury to indict him on murder one, premeditated murder, which is usually a life sentence, but he went for the death penalty. That part was crazy. To even know that on the table, it shocks Angela. She's not thinking that was going to happen. She was even talking to Sandoval, saying, the gun at the club is just too easy. I don't think he would ever do that. I think he put it there to trick us to get himself off. I think it's going to be something. Of course, Sandoval know that ain't true because he put the fucking murder weapon there. They were trying to tell Tommy, but Tommy luckily gave his mom his car. I think because Tommy's smart. He knows Ghost is not out of jail. They're trying to prove a case against me as well because he's now talked to Proctor. And Proctor said, they think you're a Ghost. They want to get you both. You can't keep selling drugs how you do it. You have to slow down because they're going to be looking at you. Like, Angela knows too much about you for you to keep going how you going. Slow the fuck down. So he thinks that's my only car. If they're looking to tell me, they're going to be looking for my car. So he gives his car to his mom, which is smart because they had this with a tail on it. When Tariq is hanging out with Kanan, and Kanan shows him the breaking houses, and I said to myself, now y'all gonna have that boy breaking in houses? I just can't even understand the stupidity of Tariq. So, but Tariq does ask Kanan, Kanan's asking Tariq, what's going on with Ghost's case, and luckily, Tariq, at least for the first time ever in life, he's smart. He says, I don't want to talk about that nigga. Whatever. He then asks Kanan, you ever heard of Kanan? And Kanan's like, you ain't got to worry about Kanan. Kanan's dead. No, Kanan's right there. I just can't. That just, it angers me. When it is revealed that Ghost will be charged for murder one, and if he's found convicted, he will get life. It was cool to see the reaction from everyone else's perspective. Angela is honestly shocked. They show Proctor. They show Ghost walking in to talk to Proctor. That's what Proctor's gonna tell him. He looks fucking shocked. Like he was almost about to cry. They show Tasha getting a phone call, and her face is shocked as well. They then go to Angela, who is at her apartment, and she still is shocked because in her head she's like, oh my God, if he's found guilty, he's gonna die. Even though Angela's a sneaky bitch and I don't like her, I think she's starting to realize what she's put into motion, and she's not all the way in agreement of him getting, a lethal injection at all. So when she gets that knock on her door, and it's Tasha, and Tasha's like, you have my kids in your house. How could you even put their father up for the death penalty? And she's like, well, because she it just, this is my thing. If Ghost was my husband and Angela was his mistress, and I'm still riding for my husband, when I knocked on Angela's door, federal prosecutor or not, I would have walked in, closed the door, and me and that bitch would have had a rumble. Like, it would have just been some fighting going down, because I have to beat your ass at least one good time, bitch. And, even Angela telling Tasha, which Tasha didn't know, that Greg Knox is her ex-boyfriend. Of course, Tasha looked shocked that she didn't know that. And I know Tasha hates getting news that she doesn't know from Angela. But still, I would have been like, bitch, that don't mean my husband killed him. Like, my husband wouldn't kill a cop. He wouldn't do that. And Angela's so blinded by her anger that Ghost left her. Because that's really what it is. That she believes he did it. For some reason, she believes he did it, but she also don't believe he did it. And she just, It's just stupid. But, you know, all that, you know, if you wasn't a cop, and she's like, but I am a cop, I would have still punched Angela dead in her mouth. Just, just because I had to. I mean, just because that's what has to happen. Um, and even they have the scene of Dre being attacked by Kanan. I didn't care because Dre, you an asshole idiot for not telling anybody that Kanan's alive. And, you know, now he's saying, but I was paying you to stay away from Tyreek. You're like, well, no, now you paying me to keep you alive. Because you done lied and, you know, so much to different people. You have no one on your side. I hope that makes him tell Tommy. Point blank, period. Lastly, the last scene, I'm sorry, is Ghost calling Tommy and basically saying, help me. Which is a throwback to when Tommy killed Holly and Ghost had to help him. So I'm just, you know, ready for whatever happens next. That was the basis of the show, of what happened today. I hope you like my review. It is 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'm tired. I'm going to bed. So thanks for tuning in. My name is Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner. Subscribe to my channel. And until next time, peace.